Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues in the Batman universe. Today we're taking a look at the 2011, if I have my information correct, 2010, 2011, depending on, when it was released. But the Batman Incorporated Batman action figure in, of course, the Batman Incorporated outfit. This was one, if you go clear back to early on in my channel, as hard as some of those videos might be to watch. I think about maybe updating some of those videos again. But I did a review of the Damian Robin from the set. And if I remember correctly, I think I said I was going to pass on this Batman because I have too many Batmans, blah, 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 blah. Over time, I have come to really, really like this costume and really like this figure. I've watched a lot of different reviews of it. ODC That's Me did a wonderful review. Review Spot did one, Action Figure Times did one. There was a lot of people that had done reviews of this figure, and one thing that really started to sell me on it, I wasn't initially reading the Batman Incorporated comic book series until towards the very end, and I really started liking it. And something that I liked about it was the reintroduction of the oval on Batman's chest. And this is, of course, Bruce Wayne as he has come back from the past. While Dick is still Batman, Bruce is putting together the Batman Incorporated. So he is off on his own while Dick and Damian are working together. Bruce is in this Batman costume as he's going through the Batman Incorporated line. Again, this is back when it was still DC Direct. There is the DC Direct logo there, if you can see that there. You see on the front of the card it says Batman Incorporated, Wayne Enterprises, Batman Collector Action Figure. It has just a generic barcode there. As you know, Batman Incorporated was funded by Wayne Enterprises. Bruce came out and said that he is helping fund Batman Incorporated. So we'll take a look at the rest of the package here. This was kind of a weird wave of figures. You have Batman Knight, Batman Man of Bats, and of course Bruce Wayne Batman and Damian Robin, which I already have his figure. And again, like I said in my haul video, if you watched Rob's Rogues long enough, you've seen this Robin make many, many appearances. So even though Bruce and Damian weren't really Batman and Robin together, this is kind of an odd pairing. I was very glad to get this Damian. I usually have him paired with the New 52 DC Collectibles Batman, so I'm kind of depending on where I'm going to put this Batman. I doubt I'm going to have the two together. We'll kind of see what I do. But the quick little read up here, it says back from the past, Bruce Wayne returns to Gotham City from his trip through time. His mission, recruit worthy heroes to don the mantle of the Bat. Realizing he can't fight evil alone, Batman teams up with an array of heroes across the globe, traveling the world, testing and training a strong team. Bruce Wayne builds a nearly unbeatable network of crime fighters. From the ongoing series written by Grant Morrison with art by Yannick Pasquet, I believe that's how you say it. So, I guess if you were really into the Batman Incorporated, and I did enjoy the series quite a bit, so they kind of wanted to give you some of the other Batman Incorporated characters. What I would have done is given us a Dick Grayson Batman. I think I said this in my original review back in 2011. Or maybe even 2012 when I did the actual review. I said Dick Grayson Batman and maybe a Red Robin Batman back... a Tim Drake Red Robin would have been kind of cool for the Batman Incorporated, but I get what they were trying to do. But these two figures became huge peg warmers. So the really only two figures that are the pricey out of the bunch would be Batman here, and then of course Damian being the only Damian Robin figure in existence until such time Mattel releases one. Damian's going anywhere from $100, maybe as low as $80, so he's really pricey. This Batman generally sells somewhere between the price range of about 35 to high 40s. If you saw my haul review, I got this guy for 14 bucks. And that's just almost a week ago. Guy at the comic book shop either A, didn't know what he had, or B, he kind of acted like he's been sitting on the shelf for a while. Nobody's really bought him. People have kind of picked it up and looked at him and just never bit on buying it. I'll talk more about it when we get into the actual review, but I absolutely love this figure, and I know I say this about a lot of figures, but I can see him becoming one of my favorite Batman. I just really like the incorporated storyline. I think it was also the suit is also what I really liked, and something else that sold me on the suit was Batman Arkham City, and one of these skins that you could unlock was the Batman Incorporated skin, and that was a skin that I always wore when I played the video game. Not I wore, but you know what I mean. Some of the other figures that in different ways, we have Batman, The Return of Bruce Wayne, all four of these figures. I know some people have bought them, but generally at comic book stores you would see these being giant peg warmers. The story was interesting enough, but I don't think enough to warrant action figures as they're, yes, it's Bruce Wayne, but not in the sense that you would want to buy these figures. But we have Witch Hunter, Wild West, High Sea, and Prehistoric, also, you know, Batman, Bruce Wayne figures. And then we have the Arkham Asylum figures here, which I am also a very, very big fan of the Arkham universe. All right, enough talking here. That's a little bit of history, and I'm sure I'll probably maybe have a few more things to say. I want to do some comparisons, and one that I'll be really interested to do is the New 52, and to take a look at this costume and compared to the New 52, and you could see the images. I think this might have been like, hey, we're going to do this New 52 thing. Let's test it on Batman first, and the parts that we really like we're going to incorporate into the New 52. So we'll be right back, and for you it'll seem like a matter of minutes, but for me it's about time for me to go to bed. I wanted to get this guy to package. He's been almost a package a week, so I'm going to get him out and kind of play with him a little bit, put him on my shelf or stand, and then tomorrow I'll do the actual review, but you won't know it's tomorrow. But anyway, we'll be right back. Can't wait to get this guy to package. All right, here is the Batman Incorporated Batman out of package, and I really, really like this figure. I like this figure a whole lot. I can't believe I passed on this figure initially when I got the Damian figure. I kind of watched my other video, and I was really dismissive about it. I thought, oh, you know, I don't know if I need another Batman. I really want Damian. And wouldn't you know it, like all things, after kind of seeing more and more of these figures out there, I really regretted not picking this guy up. And he's a fantastic looking figure. I just like everything about this figure, and it may be one of my favorites. We'll bring him in here just a little bit closer to camera, but the face sculpt, I love the face sculpt. Let's get in a little bit closer here. Just the detailing in the face and around the eyebrows and the eyes look really good. I've always liked being able to kind of see the ears of Bruce Wayne, Batman. Jim Lee is noted for drawing the ears on Batman from time to time. The human ears, not the bat ears. But just very well sculpted in the face. The bat symbol is very nice and clean. Now, in the Batman Incorporated storyline, Bruce went back to this bat symbol here, which I gotta admit, at first I was like, oh, I like the big bat. I do like this symbol, and another thing I thought was cool, that on this particular suit, the yellow would light up so it looked like he was projecting his own bat signal, or just kind of gave off a yellow glow. Now, I'll put up an image right here.
Here's a Jason Fabok image right there. I love Fabok's Batman Incorporated Batman. Then we have Marcus Toe from the Red Robin comic book series towards the latter end, and then these last few are David Finch, and he is also an artist I like drawing the Batman Incorporated outfit. There's the return of Batman one shot, and then a like a beauty shot of the David Finch inspired Batman Incorporated suit. And then this one too kind of shows you the insignia kind of lighting up. Now back to the review.
But you could see the other lines here on the suit, and this is a precursor to the New 52. So this is the first look of Batman as he would be without trunks. And I have the other Batman figure off to the side, the New 52 version, and you can see that they took some very strong cues from this suit and incorporated it. See what I did there? Incorporated into the New 52 costume. But I always liked this one. I thought it was kind of cool having two Batmen in the universe for a while, Dick and then Bruce, that they just didn't have two of the exact same Batman, that Bruce was wearing this incorporated suit. It was actually one of my favorite suits that I like to use in Batman Arkham City video game as a skin, and then even in the multiplayer of Batman Arkham Origins. I use this one of the New 52 and the New 52 Earth 2 suit as well. Some people didn't like the bright yellow utility belt on this Batman. I actually kind of do, and I like the way the pockets are sculpted on here with the, I always like Batman with big pouches. It kind of seems more, realistic as it were, that he could have all these gadgets in here, and it's sculpted all the way through the back. I don't really have any paint flaws, just a little bit of probably a dark gray, probably from the pouches somehow maybe got up here, maybe with paintbrush or something. The cape is sculpted very, very nicely. I love all the folds into the cape. The cape probably could be a tad bit longer, but nothing that's going to detract from the figure. I think it's a fantastic looking cape as well. The gloves are also very well detailed also. Again, very New 52-ish, before we actually knew what the New 52 was. So I think this suit from Batman almost made a straight leap right into the New 52, and I think he probably could have used this in the New 52. I had a little scary moment. You could probably kind of see there's a little bit of gap. In the package, he was like this. So I don't know if you could see the separation in the foot there, the boot. Kind of, it's floating in there a little bit. You could see a little bit of a give. I think it's not coming off. It just isn't seated in there really well. I noticed that the wire tie was also had been like pulled through the package. I mean, the package was completely sealed, so it's not like somebody took it out. But I'm kind of curious, maybe what have happened in shipment or something like that. So once he's standing on it, the space kind of disappears, but just having him loose, sometimes the boot does look like it kind of wobbles there an extra little bit. Since we are looking at the boot there, you kind of see the boot swivel at the boot here. Let's take a look at the rest of the articulation. Head is on just a standard DC Direct little ball here. There's no lifting or tilting the head up and down at all. It's just a straight backwards and forward. So again, this is before a DC Collectibles. And this is one of the last lines that DC Direct would do. I think there were a couple other lines yet still from DC Direct and getting into some of the Arkham games. But it wouldn't be too much longer before they would go into DC Collectibles. So just a straight back and forward with the head side to side, which is fine. Doesn't bother me at all. So it's kind of interesting going back to an older figure now coming out of all this articulation that DC Collectibles is doing, and now just kind of reviewing and looking at a basic articulated figure, and it doesn't bother me at all that he's not hyper-articulated. For what I'm going to do with him, he's going to work great. The ball and socket shoulders. The cape does hinder the arms a little bit. They're not going to be able to go all the way up as they are designed to do with the fold of the cape over. But they would go in a 360, but again, the cape is getting in the way. He turns at the bicep here, single bend at the elbow, and he has a hand swivel. Initially, I thought there was a glove swivel here, but he doesn't. It's just a single hand. So he has one open hand, no accessories except one. I'll show you that in a second, if you can call it an accessory. No waist turn, which I kind of thought, oh, well, Damian has one, and I'll show you Damian in a second. He doesn't, so I'm kind of assuming that he did. The legs go forward and back. This left leg is, sorry, I bumped the camera there, is really kind of stiff here, but it can go up decently. Single bend at the knee. And then again, like you saw me messing with, a bend at the boot. and this one is a little wobbly. I probably could put a little bit of super glue or something in there to keep it from wobbling, but it's not stopping him from standing at all. He stands very, very well. I've got one leg kind of jet out. There we go. So he stands very, very well. Let's bring up the New 52 Batman. You can kind of see the differences and maybe some of the things that are alike in the two figures. All right, here are the two figures side by side. We have the old continuity and the current continuity, and as you can tell between the two figures, there are some very similar things. Granted, you know, the underoos or the underwear or the shorts are gone, depending on what era you live in. Some of the piping and early panel linings that are in some of this suit, you can kind of see them. Granted, there's a lot of panel lining in here, but just some of the fine lining, they decided, hey, we kind of like that, so let's really amp it up. Of course, he went back to the big bat across the chest, which I do like. I do like the big black bat across the chest, but there's something very cool and classic about the yellow oval. People want to call it the 89 Batman logo, but it was obviously around early as the 70s. And just in some of the gloves as well, you can kind of see even some of the etchings that they kind of moved up from in this section, transferred up a little bit higher. So, you know, very similar to his New 52 outfit. Of course, the yellow belt. I did like the bat logo. Some may say it's kind of overkill to have the logo here and the logo here. I do like the simple belt buckle, so that might have been a little too much. But you could just see in the just kind of the early stages probably of what they were maybe thinking about with the New 52. But there's definitely some panel and suit lines that would obviously get carried way over into the New 52. I like both of these figures a lot. Probably two of my favorite Batmen. The Batman Arkham Origins figure is also another one of my favorite. It's probably one of those that, having wanted this guy for so long, I'm really leaning to really like it, but there's just something about the face that I really, really like. This is still a very, very solid figure, and again, another one of my favorites, but probably being the figure of the day and my most recent Batman, this one has high marks for me. Let's bring up Damian and see what these two look like together. And there we have father and son from the Batman Incorporated line. Now, of course, in this time, Bruce Wayne and Damian Wayne did not work together as Batman and Robin. It was actually Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne as Batman and Robin, while Bruce was putting together Batman Incorporated throughout the world. There would be some times, I think in maybe one issue, that Damian was with Bruce, but it end up Dick coming back and taking Damian on another mission. But it was generally just those two, so it was kind of an odd pairing that you would have these two to put together for the Batman Incorporated line. It probably should have been the Dick Grayson Batman, which I think is a figure that everybody's really kind of hoping that someday we would get a Dick Grayson Batman. Granted, the only difference would probably be in the belts, but again, that'd be another figure for another time, but these two do look very, very good together. And a hard decision that I'm having is which Batman is going to get Damian. Currently at the moment, you've been watching the channel long enough, these two have always been together on my shelf as I didn't have this Batman. And this Damian works great with the Justice League Batman. I currently have this Damian with the metallic version of Batman. And the thing I thought was really cool about this Batman, the way they sculpted his hand, if positioned right, he can rest on Damian's shoulder as if he has his hand on his shoulder, kind of move him in there a little bit more. But I think it's a really cool touch there. Now this hand is also sculpted that the same thing could be done as well. I kind of like having that little father and son moment as if he's holding on to his son there, like, hey, don't go rushing out there. Now I'm really having to reach around the camera and try and get it, but I think you get the idea of what we're kind of looking at here. So we do it kind of sort of like that, but you get the idea. They do both look really good. This looks like a creepy 80s photo there. But, I do like the two very much together. I'm probably going to keep Damian with this Batman for the time being. I would really kind of hope that we would get another Damian figure from DC Collectibles at some point. We're going to get the Batman and Son figure. There'll be a little Gotham, but one in a more traditional or normal version. I'm kind of hoping we'll get a Capullo like Series 4 line. In Wave 3, we're going to have Commissioner Gordon and Batgirl. So I'm thinking if they're going to do Batgirl, they easily have to do Red Robin and hopefully Damian as well. So that's just a look at the two. Which of the two Batman do you like together? I'm probably going to leave him with this Batman, the metallic version, as he's sitting with my Justice League shelf. But again, he would work good with either one depending on if you were able to score this Damian. Alright, final thoughts here. Before I forget, he does come with, I said an accessory, it's just the standard stand. At one time I thought, oh, we don't need these stands. Now there's some figures that really could benefit from a stand, so it was really nice to have a stand that I can now use for another DC Classics, DC Collectibles or DC Direct figure. Final thoughts on this Batman. I really, really like this Batman. I like the Batman Incorporated storyline, and one of my favorite things about it was the suit. It was a new suit for Batman. Dick got to keep the traditional Batman suit that Bruce had wore up till his trip through time, so this was something cool and fresh, and was a little hint at what was to come that would become the New 52. If you have this figure, hopefully that you do, that you like him as much as I do. And if you were on the fence about him, hopefully you can find him as cheap as I got for him, or you could probably find him on Amazon or eBay, somewhere right around the price range between, maybe low is a $29, let's say $30, probably up to $45 in that price range. I probably wouldn't pay any more. And if you're trying to find Damian from this line, good luck. He is ridiculously priced. I'm glad to have picked up both these figures. I like them both very much, and this Batman is going to be featured very prominent on my shelf, and maybe from time to time he'll get posed with Damian when Damian's now on the Justice League New 52 shelf. So today we've been taking a look at the 2011 DC Direct Batman Incorporated Batman Bruce Wayne figure. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the Batman Universe signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.